Hello, everyone. I'm Dan Kaufman with Sports Business Journal, and welcome to this Executive Insight with Boldyn Networks. I am here at the 2025 CAA World Congress of Sports in Nashville, Tennessee, and I am joined by Jason Caliento. He's the Chief Commercial Officer at Boldyn Networks. Jason, thank you for being here.
Dan, thanks. It's always a pleasure to be here with SBJ.
So we're going to talk about entertainment districts. Before we get there, though, I want you to just give us a quick background, as quick as you can, effectively, on what is Boldyn Networks.
Sure. Boldyn Networks is a neutral host open access provider. So we fund, design, build, and operate wired and wireless infrastructure that provides all the connectivity across sports and entertainment venues and sports and entertainment districts. We've got a wide range of practice across the U.S. We're engaged with teams across every major sports league. We do lots in commercial real estate as well, which we'll be talking about today. And we're really excited. We announced at Tech Week for SBJ a major partnership with Major League Soccer. We're an official partner of Major League Soccer, basically making sure that all of the venues across the country have outstanding state-of-the-art connectivity.
Excellent. Thank you for being at Tech Week. Thank you for being here at SBJ World Congress. Entertainment districts, mixed-use development, there's a few terms that are out there to describe, I think, what we're talking about here. But give me your best definition of what you think about when you hear the term mixed-use development and what you think about when you speak about entertainment districts.
Sure. So a little bit of nuance there, but I'll start with an entertainment district. So we think of an entertainment district as something that is anchored by a sports or entertainment venue. So a great example is our partnership in Los Angeles with LA Live, anchored by Crypto.com Arena. And then you've got hotels, you've got retail, you've got commercial real estate, all mixed in that same district. So when we think of an entertainment district, that's what we're thinking of. And then specifically also having places that are external for other types of entertainment events. So places to host large-scale conferences like we've done with SBJ in the past, and places to be able to host everything from corporate parties to high school graduations. So that's how we think of an entertainment district. And then mixed use has a little bit of a different connotation where it's really around mixed use of commercial, residential, and retail typically. So, but for our focus really on sports and entertainment districts, that's what a big part of Boldyn's focus.
Excellent. And when it comes to Boldyn's role, in a very important role, obviously, in these entertainment districts, providing connectivity, make sure that's seamless and effective for the consumer. Talk to us a little bit about when you think about an entertainment district, what are the challenges that you face as someone coming in saying, look, this is what I can do, X, Y, and Z?
Sure. So I think what we like to reference is the table stakes that fans and tenants are expecting when they come into these types of districts. And so people are looking to have a great time. They're looking for everything. They're looking to go on that fan journey in many ways, but there's also a number of other journeys folks go on. They might be a tenant in the commercial real estate building. They might be a resident, or again, they might be shopping and have a retail experience. So we think of the technology that we implement as foundation. It really needs to be in place so that all of those different journeys can take place. And so the big challenges are, number one, time, making sure that this is considered as early in the process as possible, right with all of the other utilities, right with all of the earliest planning stages. Because at this point, we all do look at our devices way too much, but we also use them for a lot of specific purposes.
Yeah.
And in the context of sports and entertainment, as teams or entertainment venue operators, we've really started to rely on this for everything from ticketing to payment methods, to fan engagement, to VR and AR in the venue. So really, we think of it as table stakes. So the challenge is making sure that this is considered as early in the process as possible.
Yeah.
One of the challenges, we often get pulled in way late.
Understood.
But additionally, thinking about it and how do you future-proof this for the next 20 years?
Yeah.
So while we can talk about generative AI and we can talk about fancy new VR applications, a lot of what we do is the least sexy stuff, which is really fiber and power and conduit, making sure that that's in place so that you've got the platform that you need for upgrades over the next 20 years, as opposed to having it be something where you're ripping and replacing things in the venue over time.
Yeah. Great segue, I think, to the next question, which is, what if I'm considering being involved with an entertainment district? Yeah. And if I'm considering using a company like Boldyn Networks, what are the opportunities if I do get with you early enough to plan all the connectivity, all the fiber optics that I need? What's the opportunity for me as a developer?
It's a great question. Thank you for that one. So number one, it is the expertise of somebody that's built 75 stadiums at this point. So we often get engaged with folks who are on their first stadium build journey, and we can raise our hand and say, hey, we've been down this path before. We kind of tell you what's going to happen. All of the high highs and the low lows are going to happen on this journey, and everything in between. And so we have a very regimented process that we can bring to that and go, hey, here's how you should think about this from a plan, design, build kind of perspective. So one is experience. Number two, we're owned by a pension fund. We're able to bring in funding, make large capital expenditures that most people cannot do upfront to make sure that this corresponds with the budgets and make sure that, again, that this is infrastructure that is for the long term, not just part of the capital budget that needs to get built in upfront. Yep. And then additionally, I would say it's partnership. So a lot of what we think of is, what is the long-term operation of this after it's built? And as we know, there's turnover in all of these venues. There's sometimes advanced teams that build the venue, but then new teams that come in. We think we can bring an operational continuity to all of those things. And that's really what our secret sauce is.
Yeah. Talk to me about a couple current projects or future projects. We're here in Nashville Yards right around the corner. So talk about that, and also talk about the project with NYCFC.
Sure. So it was great to be here in Nashville for World Congress. We're here at Nashville Yards. So this is a 6 million square foot development anchored by an AEG, who's also a partner AEG, 4,500 person music venue. It's beautiful. If you haven't gotten a chance to go inside yet, it's amazing. The Pinnacle, really cool. We were just here a few weeks ago for opening night, which was fantastic. So it's a great music venue. So this whole district is anchored around the Pinnacle. You've got three commercial real estate buildings that are built today. Two of them are anchored by Amazon, one by Pinnacle. Then additionally, you've got residential towers, and you've got retail that's here and more retail that's coming. So, plus parking decks all below. So we started our journey with Southwest Value Partners, who's the developer, Kerry Mack, about 4 years ago, to give you a sense of the time that we've put in here to build out.
You happy though to have started that early?
It made us incredibly happy. We know they're happy. Where we got together, put this partnership together. And really, that's the kind of time it takes to make sure that, again, things like conduit and fiber and power are all considered upfront, and as part of the building process, and they're baked into the plan. So excited to launch this. There is more buildings being put in. The new creative building is where CAA will actually have their Nashville headquarters, which is exciting. Yep. And so just a great example of a collaboration. And those three things, kind of a long-term view, the partnership, and the financial wherewithal to go make this happen.
Excellent. NYCFC, what's going on with them?
Anchored by Etihad Park, the first new stadium built in 50 years in New York City. Amazing venue that they're putting together, and an amazing amazing entertainment district that they're putting around it. So they've done a great job with a public-private partnership here. So in addition to the stadium, there's actually a school going in, there's residential, there's commercial, there's a purpose-built hotel, and then there's open spaces that will be for the community's use 24/7 as well. So really an amazing project. We're excited to be a part of it. It's a great example of something that's taken a long view on this. We actually got our deal done a year ago. Mm-hmm. We haven't really actually even officially announced it because we're waiting to get a little bit further along. But we got our deal done a year ago, and the stadium doesn't open for another 2 years. So, but that we've got plenty of time to plan, design, and build together.
Tell me about some of the data that you might have seen about when fans are able to go into an entertainment district that has the connectivity that you can offer, the services that you can offer? How are fans taking advantage of that? How are fans enjoying that?
Yeah. So about a year ago, we released a study on fan expectations in venues as well as in entertainment districts. And if you think about it, uh, really the table stakes of is ubiquitous wireless coverage, because how they arrive at the venue to how they leave the venue to everything in between really comes through the glass of their device. And so the types of stats that we found which were really impressive were, number one, 85%, regardless of demographic, 85% of fans use their phone for social media while at 85%, wow, which was shocking to me. Yeah. I'm not of the generation where that would be my first instinct to do. Yeah. And it was, it's a number that continues to grow. And certainly it's great for teams to engage that as well, because it creates a sense of FOMO. One, it gets their fans engaging with the brand itself in really unique ways, which has lots of unique kind of credibility and authentic credibility. Yeah. So we really we find those types of uses, but then all of those journeys, so from hailing a shared ride to e-ticketing to payment systems in the venue, all of that more and more are being driven by applications that are on devices. And so the expectations for that level of connectivity have really risen. What we do see, Dan, is we definitely see, we're not talking about Major League Sports in that sense. Major League Sports pretty much has that nailed and works with folks like us to make sure that's nailed. Yeah. But as you get into more minor leagues, as you get into college, we're seeing a growing need for that, because they're watching the major leagues and going, okay, I can be more efficient. I can engage with my fans better if I can have that same level of connectivity. Yeah. So we're actually working a lot now with teams that are more in the minor leagues as well, to make sure that we're bringing all of that along.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm using generative AI more and more now, whether it's ChatGPT or Copilot. I know that many in the industry are as well. I assume that there's fans now who are entering stadiums and venues and mixed use and entertainment districts who are also using generative AI. And I know how much that depends on connectivity. Are you seeing any trends so far? And even if you're not, what can you maybe tell us about what you think may be necessary once more and more people are using generative AI?
I don't have a great stat for you that says this is how many people are using it, or but in next year's update to our study, we'll include that. But what I could tell you is in our fiber business, particularly in the Bay Area, the amount of fiber that we are putting into the ground currently. We made some announcements last week about a deal that we did with the state of California. This is all in the Bay Area in our fiber business, where we're connecting data centers. We're doing massive amounts of fiber between these data centers, all really because of it's all really driven by AI and anticipated growing AI needs. We're working with data centers around the country as well to add fiber and do routes that basically support what they fully expect to be new connections that they'll need to make, driven by AI. So I think we're not even in the first inning yet, honestly. And so I think there's a ways to go, but we're incredibly bullish on the amount of infrastructure that it will require. And again, from a planning perspective, as we look at these new developments, making sure that we're planning to future-proof the developments to be able to handle that type of capacity is what we do every day.
Yeah. I look forward to hearing more on that in the years to come. I'll get you out of here on a question that has two parts, and it's a fun question. The first part is going to be a question about your childhood. The second part is going to be a question about you as an adult now. The question is, what was your favorite venue, sports venue, or entertainment district that you went to growing up, and why? And then the second part is, as an adult, what is your favorite entertainment district, sports venue, and why?
Yeah, thanks. Great question. I'm a Chicago kid. I grew up watching the Chicago Cubs on WGN, like a lot of people, but was fortunate enough to get to a lot of games as a kid. My dad was a fan and worked he was one of those guys that could get away for day baseball. So shout out to my dad, but we would go to that 120 game at Wrigley and have a hot dog and a bag of peanuts. And so definitely, my favorite memories of growing up are at Wrigley.
Okay.
Yep. In terms of my current, I say this all the time, and it's whatever the project is that we're working on. And so today it is definitely NYCFC. I'm most excited about seeing NYCFC come out of the ground here.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Jason. Appreciate your time. This has been your SBJ Executive Insight with Boldyn Networks. I'm Dan Kaufman.